It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, there's loads more happening on our show this morning, and one of the things that we're touching on is, of course, the issue of rhino horns. After 40 million years, the sun may be finally setting on one of the world's largest land animals. 3 of the 5 surviving rhino species have been critically endangered through poaching, and the rates are just off the chart. And we're talking here about the northern white rhino. It's down to a single representative. Well, one company in California, they believe that they might have a solution. The company is producing synthetic rhino horns to offer consumers an ethical alternative. Now, after lengthy discussions and also research, we finally want to talk about it on the show. And this morning with us on the line, we want to share the thoughts and also discuss this. With us is the chairman of the IUCN African Rhino Specialist Group. Dr. Michael Knight is on the line. Doctor, welcome to the show. You're live on Expresso.
Good morning to you.
Doctor, let's get straight into it. I mean, some conservationists are skeptical that this synthetic horn can reduce demand for the real thing. What are your thoughts on its effectivity? I mean, can one say that we would lessen poaching if one produces this synthetic horn?
I think there's basically 4 assumptions around this potential delivery of synthetic horn into the market. The first one, that there will be a legal trade. We do not have a legal trade in horn at the moment. The second one is that synthetic horn will be seen as the same or comparable to natural rhino horn. That's the assumption. And what we do know from the studies elsewhere, that the market discerns what they perceive to be natural products versus those that are synthetic. So it may not actually be competitive in the market sense with real rhino horn. And the third thing is that according to these individuals, that they understand what the market segment is going to be. We know at the moment the big demand for horn is in Vietnam for full horn, and in China it's going to be mainly beads and little balls. That's the main thing. So it depends on which market you're going to be pushing in. If you're going to be selling in powder, it's going to be a different thing.
I'm glad yes, go on, Doctor.
And then obviously one of the 4th things is the assumption that placing this horn on the market is actually going to reduce poaching. There's lots of controversy around that whole idea, but there's no guarantee on that. So those are basic 4 assumptions that are not meeting their proposed idea.
Well, I can't imagine that people would be, not skeptical, because we are trying to do something that, is natural, first of all, and we're trying to replicate it. I see a produced powder. They take this and then, with the help of advanced 3D printing, then produces this rhino horn, which seems like the real thing. Now, I must say, others have suggested more radical approaches. I want to know, people are suggesting poisoning the horns in order to deter poachers, or even farm rhinos specifically for poaching. What do you think would be the best solution?
I think what we're forgetting in this whole thing is that if there was to be some form of legal trade, you want the people that own the rhinos and most affected by rhinos, those people in Africa. You don't want to have necessarily rich companies in the Northern Hemisphere benefiting entirely. So really, whether it be the people that are protecting rhinos in Southern Africa or those that are living right next door to it, you want them to be the greatest beneficiary of our rhino conservation. And that's the cornerstone of IUCN when it comes to sustainable use.
Okay. Well, thank you, Doctor, for talking about, I think, a very sensitive issue for us, and also the fact that we're talking about our rhinos, who we love very much. Our Dr. Michael Knight, chairman of the IUCN African Rhino Specialist Group. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. Well, there you heard it. If successful, they say that the horns, or this company, plans to produce a few more things. They can make elephant tusks and tiger bone, which is also apparently a growing market. So let's hope that we don't have to replace our wildlife, but take good care of them in the first place.